that sinking feeling when you get your descriptive writing marks and it's again 24 on 40 or 26 on 40. You thought you had nailed it this time. Great vocabulary, interesting sentence structure. You feel stuck. But here's the truth. It's not your vocabulary that's holding you back. It's the fact that you don't understand how examiners think. And today, I'm going to share with you how you can break out of your 20s and get into the race. So let's stop guessing what examiners really want. I'm going to read out to you what IGCSE Content and Structure Top Band Descriptor for Descriptive Writing says. It says, creates well-defined and developed ideas and images in response to the prompt to offer a convincing overall picture. Uses fixture of descriptive writing such as close observation, effective use of figurative language and variety of focus. Let me show you exactly what this means, starting with well-defined ideas. Well-defined means that when someone is reading your description, they should have no doubt about what you are describing. The picture should be crystal clear in their mind. For this, I am using today an extract from Anita Desai's book, Fire on the Mountain. Now listen to the extract carefully. Around the bend, these grew in size, rose and billowed into the enormous concrete wall of what looked like a factory, for sharp chimneys thrust out cushions and scarves of smoke, black on the milky blue of the afternoon sky. Chutes emerging from its back wall seemed built to disgorge factory waste into the ravine, and immediately below them were small, squat structures that looked like brick kilns amongst the spiked, curved blades of the giant agaves that were, besides the pines, the only vegetation of that blighted gorge. Take a few seconds and read this extract again. Now, why is this well defined? Let's break it down. Firstly, Desai describes the factory. It's an enormous concrete industrial. Second, the chimneys are being described. They are sharp. They are pushing out black smoke into the afternoon sky. Thirdly, there are waste chutes which are hanging over the ravine. And fourth, we have small kiln-like structures that are surrounded by harsh vegetation. And fifth, there is a sense of setting. We have a barren, blighted gorge, thereby giving us a harsh, unfriendly and industrial setting right away. Is there a confusion? Not at all. That's what the mark scheme means by well-defined ideas. But here's the thing, clarity alone is not enough. So examiners add yet another descriptor, developed ideas and images. And this is where you need to rise to the challenge. Developed ideas and images mean that you don't have to just describe an object. You show it fully using sensorial details, describe comparisons and even provide context. Now in the extract, Anita Desai focuses on the size, concrete walls. She focuses on the shape, scarves of smoke, like brick kilns. She shows the color also, that is the black smoke versus the milky blue afternoon sky. She paints an entire picture. She's not just telling there is a factory. She is telling there are chimneys. She presents a foreground, which is the agaves as well as the brick kilns. She presents the background, the sky is there, the smoke, the chimneys. And we also have this mood and the setting of a blighted gorge, clearly giving a picture of a unfriendly, harsh, place. But most importantly, there is a contextual layer as well. She has made sure that not only we know what these things are, but we also understand how they exist in the valley. After reading the extract, you can clearly say that the nature of the area is industrial and it clearly paints a picture of environmental degradation. So those little details have come together to create a bigger idea. And that's what the examiner wants you to do with every single paragraph and create into well-defined, developed ideas and images. Stay there because the next descriptor is highly important to get top marks. The mark scheme says to present an overall convincing picture. Overall convincing picture means believable picture should feel real to the world you are creating. In order to show what's unconvincing, I'm going to experiment by changing Certain details in Anita Desai's convincing portrayal of a factory in the middle of a valley, presenting an environmentally degraded landscape. And it will blow your mind. So, 2 modifications I am going to make. First, take scarves of smoke black on the milky blue of the afternoon sky and change it to scarves of smoke bright pink on the milky blue of the afternoon sky. Second, take small squat structures that look like brick kilns amongst the spiked and change it to small squat structures that look like brick kilns, their roofs oddly glittering under the weak sun amongst the sky. Now notice what has happened. Bright pink smoke. Now the industrial smoke is grey, it is white, it is black. It cannot be bright pink. It is unrealistic and it breaks the reader's imagination. And we are talking about the brick kilns in a polluted, blighted gorge. They cannot be glittering. They cannot be shiny. So these images are actually clashing with the overall harsh tone and the setting of the scene. So such unrealistic details actually break the overall image of the scene, and examiner notices it. And that's why overall convincing picture is highly important. I really want you to benefit from this video. So stay with me and thank me later. Because the descriptors that we had discussed so far helped us to understand how to create the bigger picture. But now let's deep dive into descriptors that tell us which are the specific techniques that separate an average descriptive writing from a top descriptive writing. And the Mark Scheme calls this as close observation, which means precise details that bring your descriptions to life. Now, what are details? They are appearances like size, shape, color, association and connection, like how they are located in the context, and your sensory precision, your sight, your smell, your touch, your taste, and your sound. Now, let's look at how extract shows close observation. First of all, details. Sharp chimneys, cushions of smoke, small squat structures, spiked arcades. Connections, the chimneys against the afternoon sky. The tubes are above the ravine, and also the brick kilns are surrounded by harsh vegetations. The sensory precision as well. We know the size of the factory, enormous, the color, the black and the blue. We also understand that the size of the plants, they are giant agaves. All these are details. An examiner to reward these close observations because they make the scene really vivid. So why not? If you remember only one thing from this video, then make it this one, because this is the bare basics of descriptive writing. The IGCSE Mark Scheme asks for effective use of figurative language and varieties of focus. Now let's break this down. Figurative language, of course, your simile, your metaphors, your personification that creates vivid sensory details. Let's look at the extract. The extract clearly shows the personification of the chimneys as they thirst out cushions and scarves of smoke. Now that's definitely a personification. Instead of just merely describing the object, Anita Desai is trying to create a very active, alive image of the chimneys as they thirst out the cushions and scarves of smoke. Second is a metaphor of the smoke also, as smoke is been described as cushions and scarves. Now, of course, they are not cushions and scarf. It gives us an image of the flowing movement of the smoke, gives us a texture and the movement of the smoke clearly. And also there's a visual imagery through the contrast of this black smoke and against the visual sky, that contrast helps us to understand the man-made structures and the natural element clearly. Varieties of focus mean shifting the reader's attention to different parts of the scene so that in order to make it more layered and interesting. Now in the extract also, Anita Desai first shows us the wide view of the size of the factory. Then she actually comes into the closer view to the chimneys, to the smoke, to the sky. And then she goes to a ground view where we get the tubes, the vegetation, the brick kilns, all of it. And all of it together gives us a very layered understanding. And that creates layers of description. And that is how you take your descriptive writing from 26 on 40 to maybe 36 on 40 by understanding every aspect of the Mark Scheme and making sure that you implement it. See you and rise and shine. And don't forget to subscribe. Every week, I make videos on IGCSE English Language and Literature. And if you subscribe, you'll be notified when a new video is released.